I have with me Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, the MIM chief, who has today, of course, spent the day perhaps in anticipation of a great victory. He's an individual who has won time and again from Hyderabad, long lineage, and Dr.Subramanian Swamy, member of the Rajya Sabha and senior BJP leader. Now I want to begin by asking you, Mr. Owaisi, why should there be a constant and continual controversy around the NRC as expressed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today and Amit Shah?
Well, let me tell you very clearly that you're being very, very biased and uncharitable to me, and you're being very favorable to the Prime Minister. Because, you see, the model code of conduct is in place. How isn't that a clear, blatant violation of the model code of conduct when a president of BJP says that NRC would be, you will have an NRC and will throw out all the people except Hindus, Buddhists and Sikhs? What is that? Isn't that the clear violation of model code of conduct? Isn't that the violation of the Constitution, right to equality? This Article 15 about discrimination. So we know for a fact now that the ground is slipping from BJP, and that is why the Prime Minister and Amit Shah are indulging in what I call the worst form of dog whistle politics. It is not a controversy, it is a deliberate attempt to polarize, to tell the nation that all the Muslims in India, majority of them are infiltrators. That is the whole idea. Tomorrow BJP can deny, that's not the idea. The NRC was formed because a Supreme Court order was there. The NRC didn't come into existence because of what Mr. Amit Shah or Mr. Modi wants. But this is a clear attempt to polarize, to divide, to create more hatred. And we have seen what happened in Assam with Shaukat Ali, who was brutally beaten up and he was forced to eat pork. So they want more such incidents, and that is the whole idea and game plan.
Okay, Dr. Swamy, let me ask you, this is not about protecting India, this is about polarizing India, sir. Isn't the call to identify illegals and fence off the Indo-Bangla border targeted exclusively at the Muslim community? And when Amit Shah says, we will grant every Hindu and Buddhist refuge, but not Muslims. This is partisan, violative, as Mr. Owaisi says, of the MCC.
Well, first let me get you the facts. NRC was actually set up as a concept in 1951. And then there was a terrible agitation of the ASU and other Assam organizations against infiltration from Bangladesh in the 80s. And Rajiv Gandhi, then another Congress Prime Minister, entered into an agreement in which this proposal was revived. And then again, when nothing happened between 1985 and 2005, the UPA revived it, and then the Supreme Court, somebody went because of the terms and conditions, he wanted to make it strict, he went to the Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court laid down the guidelines, warned our government several times, and then we are now implementing it, number one. Now, the language of Mr. Amit Shah and the Prime Minister is not to the liking of Owaisi. I don't think anything they can say would be to his liking. But let me say one thing. There is a register, there is a procedure, and if we as a government, a BJP government, declares somebody as a foreigner, he still has a right to appeal and go to the courts. And moreover, let us recognize that partition was on the basis that those Muslims who wanted to stay away in another country We would amputate our own country and give them Pakistan. Now, after that, you come back from Pakistan into India. You can't have it both ways.
Okay.
So, the Hindus, on the other
Dr.
hand,
Swamy,
and Buddhists, they are persecuted. There's no other country to go to.
Owaisi Saab, what Dr. Swamy is saying is that when the Supreme Court itself has linked illegal immigration to security threat, why oppose the NRC mandated by the top court? That's his contention.
Well, Mr. Swamy should know very well that he's a perpetual litigant. He files cases day in, day out. That the NRC is limited to Assam. Now that, and the Supreme Court has laid down guidelines which is also accepted. Now can an NRC be made for the whole of India? Which loony land is he living in? And then why isn't he commenting on what Amit Shah tweeted? That all the illegal migrants will be thrown out apart from Buddhists, Hindus and Sikhs. I mean, assuming, let me be devil's advocate, that all of the Muslims are illegal immigrants, which they are not. Will you throw the constitution created by Ambedkar in a dustbin? Does he know that the right to equality applies to even to non-Indian citizens? The whole argument is that to create division, polarization, because BJP is losing this election, and that is why Amit Shah and Narendra Modi are forced to talk and stoop down to this language of gutter, so that they want to reap some benefits. Even in Northeast, out of 25 seats, you mark my words, on 23rd of May, BJP will lose many seats. I want to know, isn't that the violation of Model Code of Conduct number 1? And why isn't the ECI responding to this language? Had I used this language, I would have been hauled up. So many cases would have been booked against me. I would have been issued a notice. And are the elections going to be free and fair or not? That is my main question over here.
Well, there are two responses there, Dr. Swamy. One is, of course, on the ineffectiveness of the Election Commission of India. On the other point, would you like to respond? Because how can you extend the NRC across the length and breadth of this country when the guidelines have been set for Assam by the Supreme Court only, number one. And number two, sir, I want to ask you, in which country does the language of proposed policy discriminate on the lines of religion?
Well, the question is that illegal immigrants, irrespective of religion.
Let me answer on that.
Let me speak, please. Let me speak.
Okay.
No,
Dr. Swamy,
you can't.
Respond.
I'm being asked to speak. You will not
fine.
interrupt.
Just respond, Dr. Swamy. I'll get Mr. Owaisi back. Yes.
Illegal immigration has got nothing to do with religion. But however,
but you're making it about religion, sir.
Become important when it. I am making it of religion. I'm just explaining to you the circumstance of partition. Make it that if Hindus are discriminated against, butchered, forcibly converted, there are enough reports coming from Pakistan and Bangladesh of it. We have to accept them.
Sir, will you not accept
Muslims who are in Bangladesh?
Let me ask you, sir,
Pakistan,
will you not accept
they have no right to come here as illegal immigrants?
Pashtuns, Baluchis, will you not accept them if they are persecuted in Pakistan?
I'm glad I'm glad you raised this question, because Ahmadiyas will not be accepted as Muslim by Mr. Owaisi. All right. So Ahmadiyas will accept because they suffer religious persecution. Baluchis because they suffer political persecution. And I hope one day that India will create a new independent country called Baluchistan, so that they can all go back. We accepted Bangladesh refugees for almost 3 years running. They were here, we fed them, they were almost 1 crore. So when it comes up question of persecution, don't join it with the illegal immigrants who come here looking for a job.
Okay, Owaisi Saab, what Dr. Swamy is saying is that we will give persecuted minorities in Pakistan, whether they happen to be Baluchis, Ahmadiyas, or any other denomination refuge in this country because they are being persecuted and they fall in a different bracket. They are not illegals who are sneaking into India to take our jobs, so to speak. That's what he is saying.
Well, you see, the whole argument should be made around the Constitution of India. Why is it that the Citizenship Amendment Bill, it violates the Constitution? Why is it that it also violates the Assam Accord Section 6? The Citizen Amendment Bill, which Mr. Modi had introduced and now an ordinance is in place, it brings down the time limit for any illegal migrant in India from, 2 years? Why do you do that? And moreover, this is nothing but we will be in the esteemed league of Israel and the old South Africa and Rhodesia. Because India will become a Hindu Rashtra because you would be deciding citizenship on the basis of religion. You are clearly saying that if you are a non-Muslim, you will definitely get citizenship. That is blatant violation of our constitution. Simple. No matter what BJP, RSS talks about. And may I request Mr. Swamy and Rahul, please ask him that when Mr. Modi went to United Kingdom, the UK government wanted Mr. Narendra Modi to take back, I think so, some 20,000 Indians who are illegal over there in UK. Mr. Modi flatly refused it. Why don't you take them back, sir? They are illegal migrants in UK. You don't want to take that. What Mr. Swamy and Amit Shah is saying is a blatant violation of constitution. It will not stand the test of law, even if a great lawyer like Mr. Swamy stands up for government. This is an attempt to make India Hindu Rashtra. This is an attempt to make India like Israel, which discriminates people on the basis of whether you are ex-religion or not a religion, or you belong to a Y religion.
But Mr. Owaisi, I will ask that question of Dr. Swamy finally, but I want to ask you a small question. We know that millions of Hindus have also been left out of the NRC first draft. Isn't it divisive, therefore, on opposition's part to deem this NRC anti-Islamic then, sir, or anti-Muslim, when Hindus have been left out?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, Rahul, please, you are confusing two things over here. Okay. I am talking about the Citizen Amendment Bill.
Yes.
And NRC, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are more number of Hindus than the Muslims. And that is my main worry also. Why is the BJP silent on that?
Okay.
Why are you silent on that? Okay, assuming that I am speaking only for Muslims, you are absolutely right. The NRC guidelines, Supreme Court which has laid down, has to be followed. Simple as that.
Okay, Dr. Swamy, let me ask you this question. It's a question that has been framed by Mr. Owaisi and it's been framed very well. You've heard it. A Hindu Rashtra is being created through the back door, number one, and it's illegal. Number two, quick response and I'll wrap this up.
Well, I'd like to create Hindu Rashtra from the front door. Why should the back door be there? But that's not that issue. We are talking about something that is the Supreme Court's direction to the government. And whether the Hindus in England are illegally saying that, if they say that we are being persecuted in Britain, please take us back, we'll take them back. But Britain can't suddenly, after using them and they become retired, then you say, please take them back.
Well,
that is Britain's problem. Why do they allow them in all these years? Now, the real question is that we are only talking about those Muslims who are coming here and spreading all over to India, taking jobs. They have no right to come because partition was based on the grounds that all those Muslims who don't want to live in India shouldn't live in India.
Our viewers have heard both sides. Polarization or protecting India. Viewers, you've heard both sides. Make up your minds. You're going to be voting. Assess these arguments. These are important issues that are being injected into our politics, as we know, in advance of the phases of elections where they matter the most. We leave it at that. Thank you.